right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Badash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing his gospel and truth and sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, fall upon all your houses. So, Brother Quanah Wath, man, come back at you, Lord will, with the edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord will, it is edifying, Lord will, it is straight to the point. So for those that are ultimately, that have been paying attention, that the FedNow system, right, has just ultimately been launched, right, which we understand, right, as scripture say, 2 Corinthians, 2:11, right, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. We understand, why this whole FedNow system, right, which connected to a CBDC, right, has ultimately, been launched, right, because it's ultimately the next step, right, to moving towards this one world currency, right, that Esau Edom is ultimately trying to establish, right? It's beautiful because, again, prophecy is starting to unfold right before our eyes, man. My wife was ultimately driving yesterday, and she does Uber and shit, and she had this Taiwanese family ultimately get in the car, man, and they were ultimately having conversation, and she was able to ultimately gather information about one of their family members, right, that was over there in China, right, and basically everything that's over there in China is 100% digital, right, from the minute you get off the airplane, right, to wherever you go, whatever you do, right, everything is 100% digital, right? There's no physical form, physical currency or anything like that that's ultimately being dealt with over there anymore. It's done. It's wiped away, right? They removed that shit completely, and Klaus Schwab. Oh, and as well as Taiwan itself, right? Taiwan itself is going digital as well, right? 100%, just like China, and it's beautiful because last year around well, I don't know specifically the time, but I know it was last year or maybe, going into the year before, right? Klaus Schwab had made a statement that China is to be, basically a role model for the rest of the world, man. So you're starting to see, more and more countries, get rid of cash. I can't remember what country it was. I think it was like Nigeria or something like that. That was ultimately they got rid of the dollar, right? They got rid of that physical currency, and that caused rioting and so on and so forth to happen, right, amongst the people, man. And again, all this is leading to the MOTB, right, which is the is the RFID micro CHIP, man. And again, it's been proven more and more, right, by certain statements that World Economic Forum has been making, right? They just came out with a statement, I want to say a week or two ago, talking about how that if you want to ultimately participate in society, you have to take an implantable CHIP, man. So this is what's ultimately, going on. This is what, is happening as of right now, man, right? And you got the watchmen, right, out here on the highways and byways, right, seeing these things ultimately, happening, right? Certain statements being made by certain groups, right? Certain decrees and stuff like that happening, in these other countries. Like, I can't remember exactly where it was, but you have certain countries that are saying no, you can't withdraw no cash, no nothing, man, right? Everything has to be digital. They're either placing limits on how much you're able to withdraw, or they're completely denying withdrawal of cash all the way, which, again, we understand why all this is taking place. We understand why all these decrees and certain policies and laws and again certain activities are happening, because all roads lead to the MO to the TB, and we're in the time where this is ultimately going to be implemented right here in America, right? You got, again, the FedNow system coming out, right? And I made a statement when it first came out. I think it came out on the 20th, actually, so a few days ago. I made a statement, a little short video or statement. Hey, you're gonna start to see a lot of problems happen along with these other, I guess, payment systems, right? Like Cash App. Cash App is similar, right? The FedNow is similar to the Cash App, right? So that was ultimately a competitor, right, against the FedNow system, the FedNow app, and so on and so forth. So you're gonna see, right? You're gonna see a lot more people have problems dealing with these certain payment systems: Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Why? Because they're ultimately competition for the FedNow. And again, it's all about control, right? It's all about getting the masses to ultimately, get with the program, man. So in order to do that, they have to get rid of the competition, right? They have to get rid of cash. They have to get rid of the competition, so that way everybody is ultimately forced to go to this one system, And again, that system is going to be connected, right, to this little rice grain, right, which is how you're going to be able to pay, right? Brothers are doing videos on how, you know what I mean? What is it? Whole Foods, Aldi, I can't remember what store I was in here. Can't remember exactly what store I was in, but they already have that Amazon One Palm scanner, man. Right? A lot of them already have that system already set up, right? It's just a matter of time where Esau Edom is going to completely eradicate, the cash, the physical form of this currency, right? Because really, the fiat currency and this digital currency basically are the same thing. They really have no value. Really, this is just paper, and this is just numbers on the damn screen, right? So really, neither one of them have value. It's just really now it's a digital form of this paper currency. You know what I mean? But when they ultimately get rid of the physical form or eradicate completely the physical form of this currency, right, they're gonna make it to where, hey, you have no choice but to get with this digital currency, man. And this could happen. You know what I mean? This could happen before they even force the Karagma, man, where they say, you know what, cash is done. Everybody's got to move over to the FedNow system, right? And then something can happen to where, okay, the grid goes down, right? Everybody's on the FedNow system, right? And this is speculation at this point, right? Everybody's on the FedNow system, but the grid goes down, right? And they say, okay, well, this is connected to the new grid system, right? And if you want to be able to continue to use this currency, and you have to take this Karagma. Yeah, again, this is one of the ways that it very well could happen, right? It could happen differently than that, right? It could be at the same time, right, that they're trying to get everybody to get onto the FedNow system, right, or the CBDC system. Again, something happens, right? The false flag event, grid shuts down, you know what I mean? And at that time is when they try to ultimately, force the Karagma on everybody. Nonetheless, right, however it happens, we understand that this is going to happen, right, pursuing a revelation. Matter of fact, we'll grab it. I know I've been doing it, a long intro, Salakia. But this is Revelations. Salakia, bear with me, Baba Kashab. Revelations chapter 13 and verse 16. It says, and he causeth all, right, which you go into that word, right, and cause it goes into what? To make, right, to force, right? This is something that's ultimately Esau Edom is going to do. He's going to force the masses to take this Karagma, man, right? It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark or mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, which you go into that word mark, it goes into Karagma, right, which ultimately is, something that's inserted into your body, which is the RFID micro CM, right? They ultimately have the little palisade, right, the little needle or whatever that they ultimately are going to shove into you, right, and then insert, that little rice grain, right, as well as they have the little brain chip that's coming out, right? New biotech companies, Neuralink, so on and so forth, are ultimately, promoting this. They're already giving it out, right? They're giving it out. They're and then right now, what they're doing is they're introducing it, right? They're showing you that they can do quote unquote miracles, right, with this device, so to speak, with this technology, right? As it states, right, we're going to jump up two precepts to or two verses to verse 14. And it says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, right? So he's deceiving you people, man, right? Because in reality, right, a lot of these so-called miracles, they're really not miracles, man. you know it's just him and his little pseudoscience, and so on and so forth, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't know, right? But it very well could be, right, him implanting this device in you, right, which will allow you to be able to see or hear or this, that, and the third. But when you remove it, all of a sudden you go back to you were before, right? You're not able to see, not able to hear. You know what I mean? This is just it's what is it pseudo miracles, man. As I would call them, man. They're really not miracles, man. But nonetheless, he's showing you people, in the masses believe that these are miracles, right? That this is something that it's a major breakthrough. You know, so you're gonna have a lot of people right now. It's those that are disabled, right? Those that can't hear, those that are deaf, those that are blind. So on and so those that can't walk, right? They did. I want to say a year and a half ago, maybe even just a little bit a year ago, or even the beginning of this year. You know, they had a dude that was paralyzed for 10, 15 years, because of a car crash, whatever, and they put that brain chip in his head, right? And now he's able to walk. And they're talking about, even if they shut it off, right, it's created new nerve connections. So now he's still able to walk, man, which, hey, that's a miracle, right? And the man's able to walk, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, he has the charagma, man. You know what I mean? And again, this is he's showing you that this is what's ultimately happening. You know what I mean? He's making it to where people can walk, making it to where people can see. Right? These are these miracles that he's doing, right, inside of really the whole world, right? This is why everything's going the way it is, right? It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had a wound by a sword and did live, right? I'll continue reading verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And this is the time that we're coming into, where Esau Edom is ultimately going to give you that ultimatum, right? You're either going to follow his system, follow his agenda, right, and take his charagma, right, or you're going to be completely separated from society. And we had seen, a good example of that, or I guess a trial run of that, when dealing with, this Esau, man. Crazy, and the motherfucker staring at me on his bike. But we had seen, again, a trial run of this, when dealing with this C19, man. Right? They had, lockdown and everything like that. They basically said, okay, if you're not willing to take the juicy juice, then guess what, man? You're ultimately going to be separated from society. And this is what we're seeing, bro. It caused riots, right? Separation between immediate family members and so on and so forth, man. Right? Complete separation, man, which we go into that word killed, it ultimately goes into apoktono, is the Greek word, right, which means to be killed, but the root word apo means what? To be separated by physical distance, man, right? So they had that 6 feet, bullshit going on, 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet, which just shows you, right, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. That was a trial run for what's ultimately going to take place here soon, man. Right? Esau is going to implement this charagma, and if you're not willing to take it, again, they're going to separate you from society, man. And or physically put you to death, right? They might put you into a FEMA camp, right? Put you into a holding cell or whatever by yourself. You know what I mean? And ultimately try to encourage you, right, to take this charagma and try to, because scriptures talk about how bribery is in his right hand. So he's going to try to bribe you, right? He just like he did with the Icky Vicky, right? He's going to sit there and say, oh, well, you want to be able to do this, right? You want to be able to pay your bills. You want to be able to, to be in society. You want to be able to participate in certain things. You're going to have to take this, right? Which, again, the World Economic Forum had just came out with a statement saying that, man. If you want to be able to participate in society, you're going to have to take this implantable C-hit, man. And it's only going to get worse, right? They're going to bribe you with money, right? Because again, the dollar is going to go down, right? So they're going to ultimately get, they're going to dish out this UBI, universal basic income, and say, hey, if you want this basic income, you want this money, right? then you're gonna have to take this. And hey, the average person, man, hey, they're gonna jump at that, man. Free money, go ahead. When it's not free money, man, that's why it says deceive them, right? He's gonna deceive you, people, man. Right? He's gonna have you thinking that you're gonna get free money, or you're gonna be able to continue to participate in society, or you're gonna go back to normal. When nothing's gonna go back to normal, man. You know, Esau Edom has an agenda, right? Which they ultimately tried to, ultimately get rid of it, right? Those, what is it? Those Georgia Guidestones, right? They shot him down, destroyed him, this and the third, right? But hey, nonetheless, there's still record of him, man, right? We understand and we know his agenda, right? He has agenda where a part of his agenda is where he wants the world, at 500 million or less, which again, there's about roughly 8 billion people on earth right now. So he's going to kill a lot of people. So a lot of you people that take it, you're still going to be put to death anyways, man. So again, he's deceiving you, right? And thinking that, you're going to be a part of his society in the near future when you're not, right? Especially you Israelites, right? You're the number one person who he's ultimately gunning for, man. This is why we tell you, right, through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shem El Shah, through his word, right? The Lord said what? Never trust your enemy, man. Never trust your enemy, right? Because his whole agenda is to ultimately kill you, man. Get rid of you, right? Because he wants to be in rulership forever, man. Esau had all his scholars, ultimately read the scriptures and find out that the scriptures are true, man. Right? So he knows that he has an end, right? But he's trying to prevent that, right? He's trying to ultimately solidify himself as a perpetual ruler by implementing this, as the elder apostle Tahar had coined it, this digital oil, man. That's why we'll keep reading. Verse 16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you're going to have to take this Quran, and again, in order to buy and sell, But jump into Deuteronomy, I think it's 15. I think it's 15 to 17, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Khan, this is dealing with, the law, of having, you one of your own people, right? As a handmaid, right? Or ultimately a servant, man, right? That if you have a servant and he ultimately, after 6 years, the 7th year, you're supposed to let him go, right? You're supposed to let him go, not empty-handed, right? You're supposed to let him go off better than when he first came in, right? That's the law that that we're reading about, right? But the end part of that is that if this servant, right, ultimately is pleased to be your servant, then you're supposed to ultimately take a oil and thrust it through his ear, right? So that way you will be, or he will be, your perpetual servant, man, right? If he's pleased to be your servant and he wants to stay, right? So this is what it is, right? This is Deuteronomy 15, and I'll start at verse 16, just getting to the point. It says, and it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee, and thine house, because he is well with thee, then shalt thou take an oil and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also unto thy maid servant thou shalt do likewise, right? So again, this is what Esau Edom is trying to do, right? He's ultimately trying to give, you people this digital oil, so that way you can be his perpetual slave, right? He can be your perpetual ruler. This is what Esau Edom is trying to do, right? Esau knows he's going down, man. So he's going to do what? He's going to try to hurry things up, right? He's going to try to, establish himself as, again, as the Most High, right? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4, right? He wants to be the Most High, wants to be in control of every single thing that happens, man. And again, this is why that digital oil is going to be connected to the IoT, right? It's going to be connected to your bank, your health records, your car, your home, literally everything that you do. Esau Edom is going to be able to, have control over, right? And again, if you do end up taking it and you ultimately do something that he doesn't like, what is he going to do? He's going to shut it off. He's going to shut it off and suspend your account or whatever it may be, right, for a period of time, if it's your first offense or second or however it may be, right? We understand that this damn devil is going to ultimately he's going to create a dystopia. You know, he's going to give you this UBI, right? Universal basic income, right? It's going to be loaded on there every month, you know. Then he's going to take his little fees out, man. You know, you're going to be left with fucking change, and you're going to have a certain amount of time to be able to spend that. And if you don't spend it, it'll be wiped away, man. You know, this is this whole agenda that he has ultimately planned out, man, which ain't shit, right? Who the fuck wants to live like that, man? You know, but again, he's deceiving you people to believe that that is, you know, the way that life should be, man. You know, when it's not supposed to be like that, man. You know, life ain't supposed to be like that. Hey, this is the fucking wicked that's in control, man. Look at everything that's being done here on the earth, right? You got Moism, right, being pushed in the earth. You got men, grown ass men that are attracted to literally babies, you know, being normalized here, man. You know, here in America, this place and all the wickedness that has been pushing Esau Edom and all the wickedness he's been pushing in the earth, right, is normal here, man. You know, lying, stealing, cheating, right, eating abominable foods, committing adultery, you know, so on and so forth. All these things that if you're not doing them, hey, what do people? What do they say? Scripture say they think it's strange that you run not with them, right? Let me grab that. Right, because we're not with this society, man. Right, scripture say that oppression maketh the wise man mad. So we see all these things happening. We see the dystopia that Esau Edom is trying to set up, and we're not with that, man. We're not with that program, you know. And a lot of people see that. A lot of people see that we ain't with it, man. You know what I mean? We do these video epistles announcing that we're not with it, right? Letting those that are willing to hear say, hey, don't get with this shit, man. This is what it's gonna be, right? This is what it's gonna be like, you know. And what do people do? They hate on us for it, man. You know? So let me grab this. It's lucky, man. It's morning, man. My brain's slow. Right? This is 1 Peter 4 and I'll start at verse 3. Matter of fact, let me grab it in the scripture. 1 Peter's. Again, bear with me, Baba Shah. 1 Peter 4, and I'll start at verse 3. It says, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, reveling, banqueting, and abominable idolatries. And these are the things that, hey, when we were in the world, we were a part of, right? Everything that was going on here, it was normal to us, man. You know? So had we still been in the world, hey, the system that Esau Edom is going to try to set up, right, that would be normal to us. We would be okay with it. Hey, but the Lord ultimately, again, brought us out of darkness and brought us to this marvelous light, this truth, this gospel, right? Slaki. And now we see everything that's wrong, right? Scriptures say that then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, right? We understand what's right and what's wrong now, man. You know, whereas we didn't before, right? All these things that are happening in the world, we thought that they were right. We thought that this was okay, you know, but now we know that this is all wrong, man. Now we know that we were just, you know, dead spiritually, but now the Lord breathed that life back into us, man, you know, and now we're striving for righteousness, you know, but again, the wicked is in control, right? Sirach, the 10th chapter, right? As the judge is, so is his officers and those that dwell under him, man. So we understand that Esau Edom is wicked, right? These so-called rulers are wicked, which means the people are wicked, man. You know, so everything that's happening here is wicked. And scripture, again, you know, a lot, right? We're vexed with the filthy conversation, the wicked, right? Vexed from day to day, right? With the unlawful deeds of these people out here, man. You know. So this shit ultimately pisses us off. We're not okay with that, right? So we're not going to get with his society. We're not going to get with, you know, this agenda that he's ultimately trying to push. Because again, it's going to be agenda that's established in nothing but wickedness, nothing but evil, you know? But again, we out here vocalizing that opinion in a world where you can have an opinion, but you can't have an opinion, right? I seen this video, not to, go off topic, but I seen this video of this woman who sat there and said that facts, facts can be right or wrong, but opinions are 100% true, right? Opinions cannot be a lie. They cannot be false. That was a big ass spider that just jumped down from the phone onto the ground. Far jump, man. But anyways, there's a whole ass female on that Fresh and Fit podcast, man. She straight up said that opinions are true, 100% true, but facts can be right or wrong, right? That's the fucking, the mindset of the people, man, right? Yeah, they got their fucking. If their fucking shit kicks on them, I have to move. Sound like their fucking sprinklers are going on, and I'm out here in the grass, man. So we'll see, man. But anyways, right? That's the whole like mindset of the world, right? Where you can have opinion, right? But the opinion that you have is 100% true. So if somebody has a different opinion than you, right, it's automatically wrong. No, your opinion is correct. You know what I mean? But yet then again, you know what I mean? Somebody's allowed to have their own opinion, but yet their opinion is wrong. Like that, this whole world is ass fucking backwards, man. You're completely ass backwards, right? But again, that's the mindset of the world, man. So again, we're not with that, right? We're out here vocalizing the truth, right? Facts, but the facts can be wrong or right. That doesn't make no sense, man. But it is what it is, man. These people out here, right, that are in this kind of mindset, really, one, the Lord's not dealing with them, man. And two, those are those people that are born in vain, man, meant to be destroyed. We're out here preaching the gospel to those that will hear, right? The elect of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man, the Israel of the Most High. Nobody else, right? So again, when we're standing out here, right, and we have a separate opinion than the rest of the world, hey, we get backlash from that, man, right? We get backlash from what we believe in, right? And what we know to be true, right? 1 Peter 4 and continue on to verse 4, it says, wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you, man, right? So they talk shit on us, man. Oh, you guys just guys, dudes with blankets on, man. Dudes with curtains on and dresses and this, that, and the third. They talk shit about us, man. They scoff and they mock at us, right? When we're out here warning them, right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, saying, hey, you might think that this is right. You might believe that this could be something that's good, but in reality, this is what it is, man. Right? It's nothing but deception. You're not going to, get back to that state in which you were in before the scamdemic or anything like that, right? You have to understand that Esau Edom is the wicked. Job 9 and 4. Job 9 and 24, Salakia. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? So he's not able to do any good. Scriptures say if he do not good unto himself, to whom will he do good? Right? So this damn devil doesn't even do good to himself, man. He's willing to sacrifice his own people, and kill off his own people in order to push this agenda, man. In order to get this agenda out so he can get the whole world involved, man. This damn devil doesn't even care about his own, so how much more, his number one enemy, you Israelites, man. Again, this is why we preach, through the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, to never trust your enemy. Don't ever trust this damn devil, man. Right? Because we understand that he's gonna be speaking these smooth words to try to get you, right, to go along with this program. Right? But this is the same program that if you get along, or you go along to get along, that you're gonna be destroyed by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Right? That's first and foremost. Right? So we're out here, as the scriptures say, right? We're not giving, as a matter of fact, let me grab it. I had it, first pulled up. Isaiah. I had it pulled up right here. The 62nd chapter. And the 6th verse, it says, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Right? And again, you got prophets, right, all across the world, right? So when the Western Hemisphere, right here in America, right, when you got over here is dark, people go, going to sleep, you know what I mean? You got on the Eastern Hemisphere, right, over in Holland, over in Australia, all over Tanzania, right? It's over in the land of Ham, really all over the world, right? Over in Rome, Italy, right? You got brothers all over the place, man, pushing the gospel, man, bringing the truth out, man, right? Warning you people, right? Saying, hey, don't take this, man. This damn devil is nothing but a liar, right? Psalms the 10th chapter, verse 8, in his mouth is full of cursings and deceits, right? Deceit meaning to what? To misrepresent and to conceal the truth, man, right? So he makes the truth out to be what it's not, man. He says, oh, well, he speaking all this good stuff, man. The scriptures talk about how, he speaks smooth words, right? But war was in his heart, man. So he's going to try to encourage you to get with this society, get with this program, right? By telling you all these different things. Oh, you want to get that, just like he did with the Icky Vicky, right? You want $100, get the Icky Vicky. You want a free lap dance, get the Icky Vicky. You want some free food, get the Icky Vicky. This woman that was, I think it was in New Jersey or somewhere over there in that East Coast, man, the upper East Coast, where this woman got entered into, win $1 million just by getting the Icky Vicky. And what happened? She won. So they'll enter you into a raffle to win large amounts of money or, whatever it may be, man. You want your rent free for 6 months or something like that, right? Then you got to get this Icky Vicky, just like it, man. So this is what he's going to do. This is his MO, man. So you best believe here soon, this damn devil is going to really try hard, man. He's going to really try to convince you people to take this Icky Vicky, man. And when he doesn't ultimately get enough of you people to take it, what's going to happen? That's when he's going to really force you, right? Certain events are going to take place, right? Could be a false flag event where he shuts down the grid, lets the chaos ring off for a while, man. You know what I mean? And then says, here's the solution, right? Or it could be just before that moment where he sits there, he kills the dollar, right? And you're not able to buy and sell, as the scriptures say, unless you take the grommet. So he's saying, hey, you want to continue to buy, you want to continue to sell, and well, then here it is what it is, man. So there's different ways that this damn devil's ultimately going to try to, force you, right? And one of those ways is him literally coming down and forcing you people, right, to literally take it, man, putting you in FEMA camps, and or threatening your life, in order for you to take it, man. But again, no matter what, right? Let me grab this. Actually, I'm gonna continue on this. Actually, that's it. We'll move on. Let me grab Sirach, the 4th chapter. This is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, and verse 28. It says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. So, hey, guess what, man? We're supposed to stand 10 toes, right, on this truth, right? Stand 10 toes on our faith in Yahweh B'Shem Shai, no matter the situation, man. Right? And we have clear examples of that, right? Romans 15:4, the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning, right? Esau Edom is going to come down having great wrath. And again, he's going to, throw some into these FEMA camps, man. Ham us up. God damn, big ass B. He's going to ham some of us up, throw us into these FEMA camps and try to entice us, right, to take this charagma, man. Matter of fact, let's get an account of that real quick. In the Maccabees, 2nd Maccabees, which I mentioned it yesterday when I was doing my lesson, man, but I figure I would, because it's heavy, man. This is the time that we are in. Let me just try to find it. Right, because ultimately, the 2nd Maccabees, right, Eleazar, right, being an aged man, right, in Israel. Ultimately, they try to entice him to take the charagma, man, or not the charagma, slakia, to eat, those abominable foods and to get along, to go along, to get along, man, because they knew that again that he was a man, of high stature within Israel. So they ultimately say, hey, you got a lot of followers. Hey man, you ain't even gotta eat it. You just act like you eating it, right? And they'll come and they'll ultimately, get with the program, man. And what they do, they offered him, riches, they offered him, favor, right? And so on and so forth. Just like they did yesterday when I was going into it, they offered Mattathias, man, right? They offered Mattathias saying, you'll be a friend of the king, you'll receive gold and silver and so on and so forth. Hey, but guess what he did, man? He remained in his integrity, right, in the Lord, man. Right? He stood stiffly for Yahweh Bashim Shai and denied all that shit, man. And it's the same how it is with Eleazar, man. Right? In 2nd Maccabees, the 6th chapter. We're just going to get a little bit of it. But this is just getting to the point, right? Because again, they ultimately tried to, encourage him. This is 2nd Maccabees chapter 6. And I'll start at verse 17. It says, but let this that we have spoken be for a warning unto us. And now will we come to the declaring of the matter in few words. It says, Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh, right? So they ultimately tried to get him, right? And as you read in the next chapter as well, right, the mother and her sons, right, I think it was her mother and her 7 sons, right, were ultimately, they were enticed to ultimately eat of that swine's flesh as well. Meaning, symbolically, you're going with the program, right? You're leaving off the law section members, Yahweh Shem Shai, following the ways of the heathen, man. This is what Esau Edom wants, right? He just wants you to get along with this system so he can be, again, right, in this time, he can be a perpetual ruler by you taking that charagma, man, right? Verse 19 says, but he choosing rather to die gloriously, right? Because what does the scripture say, man? Right? I think I know where that's at. In Psalms 125. Psalms 125. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Oh yeah, Psalms 116 and verse 15. It says, "Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints." Right. So hey, it doesn't matter, man. Right. So what if they continue to entice us, or they say, "Oh, hey, well, if you don't do it, then we're gonna kill you." Hey, that's okay. That's okay, man, because you stood stiffly for the name of the Lord, man. Right. And as we read in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, right, that those that stood stiffly in the time of trouble, right, and in all the in the face of danger, they stood stiffly and stood on their faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai. Those are the ones that are going to be glorified, man. Those are the ones that are going to receive those crowns, man. And Eleazar did just that, right? He stood stiffly for Yahweh Bashim Shai, man. Right? He remained in his faith, man. Scripture say to hold fast to that which thou hast, man. So we have to do that as well. Right, this is 2nd Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 19 again. It says, but he choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment. So he said, fuck that. You want to kill me? Fuck that. I'm gonna go myself, man. I'm gonna go myself. You ain't gonna force me, right? Just like the 3 holy children, man. Mishael, Hananiah and Azra. I think I got their names wrong, man. But their names were changed to Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, right? What they sat there and said, "No, we ain't gonna, we're not gonna speak lightly to answer you, man. We're not gonna serve you, right? And if our power doesn't help us, and well, guess what? Let it be known that we're not gonna serve your gods, man." And what the king do, man? He threw him into that furnace, right? He heated up that furnace 7 times more than it was, right? And threw him into that furnace. But hey, guess what? They had that faith, man. They had faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai. And what happened? Yahweh Shai was in that fire with them, man. They said it was a cool breeze in there, man. It was a nice cool breeze. They came out, their shit wasn't smelling like no fire, right? They didn't have no fire on them. The men that threw them in there, they ended up getting burned up. Hey, but Yahweh Bashim Shai to protected them, man. So as long as we continue to have faith, these miracles will be done for us, man. The Lord will fight for us. We just read it. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, man. Right? So we have accounts of our forefathers and them standing on their faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai, and the Lord doing miracles for them, man. Right? So how much more now in these times? Continue to read. Verse 20, it says, as it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for the love of life to be tasted. But they that had the charge of that wicked feast, for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make as if he did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king, right? So they ultimately wanted him to be sneaky, man. You know, but that's Esau, man. Always sneaky, always wanted to do some, some shady shit, man. Let me move down real quick, man. Got that sun coming out. The last time yesterday I was out here, and the phone overheated being out in the sun, man. So let me grab my stuff. Slakia. It's hot out here in Arizona, man. 115, 117. It's some fucking heat, man. My phone overheated like a mug yesterday, man. Why you gotta stay hydrated, man. Especially out here in Arizona, man. Water helps regulate, your body temperature as well, man, as lubricate your joints and so on and so forth, man. It's important to drink water, Salakia. But continue to read verse 22. It says that in doing so he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them and find favor, which the scriptures say, right? That matter of fact, I think that's in Matthew 6th chapter. Find it. Matthew's. Yes, 16. Let me grab that real quick. We'll come back to this. Matthew's chapter 16. 14. Not too far. Matthew's chapter 16 and verse. I'll start at verse 24. It says, then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Right, man? Because at the end of the day, every day, man, we have to deny ourselves. Man, we're in the sinful flesh, right? The flesh and the spirit warred against another, man. Right? So our flesh wants to go back into the world and do the things that, that we were in the world doing. Hey, but we have to understand that, no, we can't do that because those things will lead to death, man. And the scriptures also say, go, abstain from thy fleshly lusts, man. So we have to, again, stay in the spirit as much as possible, man. As much as possible, denying ourselves, denying our wants, denying, all these different things that we know that we can have in the world, denying all that shit, because at the end of the day, that has no value, right? So we're losing really nothing to gain everything, as the brother Yohanna, always says, man, right? We're literally losing nothing because none of this shit has value. On top of that, all these things are temporal, man. As the scriptures say in 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, right? All these things that we see here, they're temporal, right? Which means, again, they're not going to last very long. So why try to go after something that has an expiration date? We're not going to. We're going to go after something that has no expiration date. And that's his truth. That's his gospel. That's the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Right? That's eternal. Continue on in verse 25. It says, for whosoever shall save his life shall lose it. Right? So if Eleazar if he sat there and was like, you know what, they're going to kill me, I don't want to die, I'm just going to get along to go along. I'm going to go along to get along, sort of thing, man. Hey, well, guess what? The Lord would have brought that judgment upon him and killed him, right? Because that's a sin, right? Leviticus, the 11th chapter, right, goes into the dietary law, what we're allowed to eat and what we're not allowed to eat, right? And swine is one of those things that we're not allowed to eat, man. Those are basically the garbage of the earth, man. We're not supposed to be eating that shit, right? The Lord had everything set in place for a reason, right? The Lord made the law, statutes, commandments for a reason, had them set the way he had them set for a reason, right? Because all this, right, you following it is nothing but righteousness. It's what builds life, man. It's what strengthens life, right? But you going against that is what ultimately weakens your life, man. That's why you eating shrimp, crab, lobster, and pork, right? What happens? You get COPD, you get a whole bunch of ailments and diseases and stuff like that. And guess what? Your life ultimately starts to get shorter and shorter and shorter until you die, man. So all these things that these heathens are pushing are contrary to life, man. You know, contrary to the law, statute, members of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. You know? So we're not supposed to be engaging in that, man. You know, so again, if Eleazar ultimately, you know, would have engaged in that, well, scripture say the wages of sin is death, man. The Lord would have put his ass to death, right? He knew that. He knew that. He's a well-aged man in the scriptures, right? He knew what he was doing, man. You know? So he said that, nah, I'm good, man. You know? He's like, if you're going to kill me, you're going to have to kill me, man. You know, because I'm going to die anyways. If I follow you, I'm gonna be put to death. If I don't follow you, I'm gonna be put to death. The only difference is I'm gonna be accepted of the Lord, glorified, right, and receive that mercy. You know, as we read, we'll continue to finish this off. Verse 16. Oh, sorry, verse 15 again. For whosoever shall save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life for my name's sake shall find it. That's the key, man. You know, and this is something that we have to remember. This is the same mentality that we have to ultimately implement, man. And the Lord's been having me go into this heavy, man, right, through His Spirit, right, saying, hey, we need to read on the accounts of our forefathers, right, go in on them and look at, hey, the mentality that they were having, being faced with such great tribulation. You know, they stood on their faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We're in the time where our faith is going to be tested, man. Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. We're going to be tested tremendously, man. You know, and it's not going to be an easy test, right? This is going to be a test that if you have not been studying for this test this whole time, then you're not gonna ace that test, man. You know, you're gonna fail that test miserably, and you failing is gonna lead to your death, man. You know. Continue on back in Maccabees, First Maccabees chapter 6. I'll read verse 23. It says, but he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereunto he was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by the Most High. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straight ways to send him to the grave. He said, fuck it, kill me. You know? The scriptures say, hey, whether we live or we die, we are Hamashiachs, man. Kill me. At that point, you do your worst, man. Do your motherfucking worst. You know, Salakia, man, for my, you know, cussing, man. You know? Verse 24 says, for it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old, right? When we read that, right, it's a 80, right? It's talking about basically, you know, 80 is 80, right? So 80 is 40 times 2, right? So it's 8. He's being 80 years old, right? It says that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10, right? So he's 90 years old, man. 80 years old, right? 80 and 10, that's 90, right? It says we're now gone to a strange religion, right? So they're saying, hey, so why would I have these people, these youngins, look at me like, damn, after 90 years, now you want to go and switch over after all this time you serving the Lord, now you want to switch over? No, he ain't gonna do that, man. You know. Verse 25. So they through mine hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer should be delivered by me, and I get a stain to mine old age and making it abominable. For though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead. So he knew he was going to get punished by the Lord, having you know, gone along with this agenda, man, right? And just as we know, right, if we ultimately bow down to this system and take this charagma, as we read in Revelation the 14th chapter, you're going to be destroyed, man. You know, so we're not going to. We understand. Esau Edom, you take it, he's going to kill you, right? He has an agenda, 500 million. Right, that's roughly 7.5 billion people going to be killed. So even if you do take it, you're still going to be one of them killed, especially if you're Israelite, man. You know, and not only that, the Lord's going to deal with you, man. Right, the scripture saying, so what is that? Was that 2 Corinthians the 5th chapter, the 10th verse, that we all must sit before the judgment seat of Yahushua Hamashiach, man. You know, to be judged for what we have done in our body, good or bad, man. You know, it says, verse 27, right? Here's his mindset, right? When dealing with the whole situation, it says, verse 27, wherefore now manfully changing this life, I will show myself such an one as mine age requireth, and leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws. And when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment. You know, so he stood stiffly, man. He said, you have to kill me, man. And this is also example, right? The scriptures say, you know, take no thought of what you shall say, right? For it shall be given to you, man. And he said something heavy, man. He said, hey, I'm going to be an example to those that come after me, man, to die willingly and courageously for the law, such commandments, Yahweh Shem Shai, man. And who knows, man, right? When you read in 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter, hey, some of those brothers, man, they were giving some heavy shit to say, man. It pissed Esau off, man, you know? And who knows, man? We could be put in the same position, right? Because we understand that time is coming. Revelation is the 2nd chapter, man, right? Where the devil's going to cast us into prison, right? Because, again, we're against his society, man, right? For those that know, he's got these 3 FEMA categories, right? He's got the yellow, those that are, they're gonna bend to his will, right? The sheeple. Then you got the red, right, which are ones that are against his society, which we're considered in that red, right? Those that preach against this damn devil society. And then you got the blue that follow the red, right? Esau is going to come down at certain periods of time, and he's going to hem up those that are against his society, you know, those that are preaching against his society, throw them in FEMA camps to try to ultimately, you know, encourage them or entice them to ultimately to turn away from what we're following, right? And we could be in that position to say, you know what? After all this time that we've been serving the Lord, I'm not going to sit here and turn back when all these people, they've been following me, they count on me. I'm not going to turn back at the last minute just because you want me to, man. You know? I'm going to stand on the law, session members, Yahweh Shem Shai to the death, man. You know? And who knows, man? They can sit here and bring your family in, right? They can sit here and bring your best friend. If you don't have any family, they can bring your spouse, your family, your mom, your dad. They can bring anybody in, man. Or beat them or beat you within an inch of your life, you know, let you heal up, beat you within an inch of your life, try to, you know, ultimately beat it out of you, man. Right? Because we understand Esau Edom, man, he's got this whole, you know, waterboarding and shit like that he's been doing, man. You know, so he's got all these different technology, man, that he could ultimately try to encourage you, man. But again, we got to stand on Yahweh Shem Shai all the way to the end, man. You know? So true, run. I'll continue reading in the last few verses. Verse 29 says, they that led him, changing the good will, they bear him a little before into hatred, because the foresaid speeches proceeded, as they thought, from a desperate mind. But when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, it is manifest unto the Lord that hath the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in my body, being beaten, but in soul am well content to suffer these things, because I fear him. Right, man? Scriptures say that fear not, you know, one can do to your, you know, your body, right? But fear the one that can hurt your body and your soul in hell, man. You know? So we fear Yahweh Shem Shai, man. Right? We fear Yahweh Shem Shai. We're not going to fear man, right? Because Yahweh Shem Shai is the one that controls these men, right? And he only gave them, you know, ability to go so far and to do so much, right? It's Yahweh Shem Shai that can completely wipe you the fuck out, man, right? He can hurt you more and punish you more and longer and harder than any normal man can, right? Scriptures talk about there's one that's greatly to be feared, and that's just like Yahweh Shem Shai, man, not man, you know? You know? Verse 31, the last verse, it says, and thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a noble courage and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but unto all his nation. That's right, man. Right? And we read this today. We read this account today, right? So this is still a courageous, you know, and noble act that we read about today, right? As it says in Romans 15:4, the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning, right? So again, we see the great tribulation that he was coming up against, right? And we look at it and we're like, damn, this is an elect member, man, right? Because again, those that stand stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shem El Shai are going to receive that crown. Let me grab that. This is in Second Esdras, the 13th chapter. Pull it up real quick. No. Second Esdras 13. This is Slakia. That's the Second Esdras 13. Second Esdras, the second chapter. Slakia, bear with me, Baruch Shah. Pages stay sticking together. Second Esdras chapter 2 and beginning at we'll start at verse 38. It says, Second Esdras. I'll start at verse 37. Second Esdras chapter 2 and verse 37. It says, "Oh, receive the gift that is given you and be glad, giving thanks unto him that hath called you to the heavenly kingdom." Right? It says, "Arise and stand. Behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord." Right? Which we understand that that's the elect, man. That's speaking on the elect. What we're reading about is the elect, right? Verse 39 says, "Which are departed from the shadow of the world and have received glorious garments of the Lord," right? Because again, they saw what was wrong in the world and was like, you know what, I don't want to be a part of that, man. Let me turn away from this evil and wickedness and turn to righteousness, man. And follow after Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua, which will lead to that life, man. Verse 40 says, "Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed. I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua with songs. So in the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly." Which that man is talking about Yahweh Shai, man. Right? Yahweh Shai is crowning those men, right, that ultimately, again, against all odds, kept their faith, man, remained in their integrity, in serving the Lord, man. Looked at everything else and was like, nah, bro, this ain't it. This is it. This is how we're going to make it. This is how we're going to overcome, right? By the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua, through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice, man. Through Yahweh Shai being that perfect sacrifice, right? Taking on the sins of the nation of Israel, and allowing for Israel to be forgiven, right? To be reconciled back to the Father and be forgiven, right? And this time we understand it's the elect that's going to receive that glory, being heirs to the promise with Yahweh Shai, right? But nonetheless, all the nation of Israel eventually is going to be righteous, man. 2/3 got to die on this side, right? But they're going to come back to the loins of the elect into righteousness, man. So eventually all Israel is going to be righteous. All Israel is going to be on top. All Israel is going to be, in authority over these nations, man, right? There's going to be a difference, though, between the elect and the 2/3, man. The elect are the ones that are going to be the top echelon, man, the upper echelon, the elites, so to speak, man. And this is what we're striving for. We want to be a part of the elect, man. We're not shooting. We're not lowballing, man. We're not shooting low, man. We're shooting high, right? To be a part of the elect, man. That's what it's all about, man. It says, verse 44, it says, "So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High, Now were they crowned and received palms, which that palms is going into, symbolic for victory, man. So we ultimately denied this world, confess the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua, confess his gospel, preach it to the world against all odds, and strove for the truth unto death. And guess what? There's a reward in that, man. Right? Apostle Peter said, what, man? We have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have thereafter, man? What shall we have therefore? And Yahweh broke it down to him, man. Although you forsake all these things, you're going to have all of them 100-fold, man. So why sit here and try to, build up something here, man? When we're going to have more than what we have here. We're going to have far more than what we have here, man, in the kingdom. And it's going to be better. It's going to be in a state of perfection, man. Verse 46, it says, Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, Yahushua, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them, and stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy power thou hast seen. That's right, man. So at the end of the day, man, those that continue to stand stiffly for the name of the Lord are going to receive those crowns, man. They're going to be heirs to the promise with Yahushua, man. Right, being glorified with him, man. Yahushua getting his glory first, and then those that 144,000 are going to receive their glory as well, man. Right, with the dead being raised up first. Right, then those that are alive and remain being caught up with them, man, into those chariots, watching the destruction of this place, man. Scriptures say that you shall see the reward of the wicked, man. Right, not only are you going to be walking through Jacob's trouble, seeing all these judgments come upon the people, but even then, when we get caught up in those chariots, we're going to be looking through that sea of glass, watching the destruction of America, man, watching the wicked get destroyed, man. Lord, will we be part of the elect? We're going to be in those chariots, man. We're going to receive those white garments, man. We're going to see that white stone, that thawab, right? That exemption from that judgment, man. To be glorified, man. To stand there with a crown that's hand tailored for us, man. Yahushua knows us better than anybody, man. He created us, man. He created us the way he wanted us to be created, man. So he's gonna create our crown to be handcrafted, personally tailored to us, man. To fit us. He knows what we want more than what we know we want. If that makes sense. He knows us better than we know ourselves, man. So we got a crown, Lord will, waiting for us. And we don't even know what it's gonna be like, man. We can only speculate, man, what we want, man. But again, he knows us better than we know ourselves, man. So that's what's waiting for us on the other side, man. Just keep the faith, man. Keep pushing, keep going hard, man. We're almost out of here, man. No matter what it looks like, no matter what, if it seems like the only option is death, guess what? Nothing is impossible for Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua, man. So continue to stand on your faith no matter what. Busted up face. And who knows, man, while Esau's beating you with the inch of light, you might not feel none of it, man. The Lord's cold like that, man. Just like Stephen, right? Stephen was being stoned. He didn't feel none of that shit, man. So, who knows, man? Right? It might seem, scary. It might seem like, oh, fuck, man. But, at the end of the day, man, our faith has to overcome those situations, man. Because, again, it's by our faith, standing on our faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua, how we're going to overcome those situations, man. So with that, Lord will, man, that's all I really got through the spirit, man. So Lord will is edifying. Lord will say to the point. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem, Rachak Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles, elder bishops, the great millstone. Till next time, I say shalom.